Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the part 6 of building a JavaScript application. And in this video, finally, after all these tutorials that I've been showing you, we will start building the application right now. So I'm going to give you just like a little bit of a tour exactly of what we are going to build. I showed you this in the first video, but I'm just going to show you again quickly. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to have like a kind of a backend, yeah, in here that we can actually change, you know, the style, text, and everything of our page. So I'm going to put in here some kind of a div, and then we can open and close it as we want. And then we can access things like this title that we have in here, my position. If you can put in here whatever, if you are a front-end web developer, back-end, or whatever. Choose the color and then choose the background image that we have in here, and then we just click this button and it's going to update. So basically this is like a real-world application. You know when you are using these like kind of content managed systems like WordPress or something, it works almost something like this, but of course they use backend languages in there like PHP. But in here this works, it's gonna work like similarly because you're gonna update your page with this. All right, so let's start building this. So for that, let's go to our index.html, and in our index.html, I'm gonna put in here on the top a div. I'm going to put a div in here with a class, of sidebar. Okay, and this div with a class sidebar, what I'm going to put in here, I need to put a button, so I'm going to put in here, yeah, JavaScript app. Yeah, I can put this on the top. It's going to look better. So I'm going to put in here like a H2 maybe, and I'm going to say JavaScript app, and sorry, and under it I'm going to put anchor element href. I'm going to put just a hash for now, and I'm going to put let me see. I'm going to put in here open because initially it's going to be closed. So open, and right. So for now we have this. Let's style this for now. So for that I'm going to need to access the CSS. Let's go in here, and now I'm going to put in here right on the top, just before the navigation. I'm going to put in here something like JavaScript app. So JavaScript app. And okay, let's give this sidebar. So let's give this sidebar a background color of what's this background color in here? Let's check quickly. We got this one, RGB. It's kind of a gray, so we can go in here and give this color. And I want it to have let's say a height of 80 VH. So when I'm saying this, having a height of 80 VH is 80% like of the viewport. Whatever is your screen, you know, if your screen is going to be smaller, it's going to have just like 80% of the viewport. This is what the VH means. It's like the 80% of the viewport of what you have in here. So let's just refresh, and right now it's just here on the top. So this is not what we want. Let's see, body. If I have something in here in body, I'm going to put in here on body position relative. I explained in some previous videos how the position relative and absolute works. So basically I'm putting the parent element position relative, and in this one I think I can put position absolute. position absolute, and I want it to have right 0. Okay, so now it's in here on the right. So this is what we want, and let's put it atop of 10 VH. So because I said that this is like 80 VH, the height, and I said that it's going to be away from the top like 10, so this is going to be 10. So basically it's like centered. So we got this. Now, what was the width? I want to have a width. Let's see how much is the width that we have in here. Yeah, let's give it a width like of 12%. Width of 12%. Let's refresh. It's okay. And now I'm going to put in here whatever is inside. I want to be with the text align of center. Text align of center. So this is good. Now I want the sidebar A, the anchor, to have a padding. Maybe, let's say, on the top and bottom 10 pixels and right and left 30 pixels. And I want to have a background color of blue. And I want, when I hover with it with the mouse, I want to show a pointer. So let's refresh. Yeah, it's showing now the hand like it's a button, so that's good. But now the text is, you can't see it really well. So let's put the color of the text to white. You can put the like hash FFFs, or you could put just white. It's gonna work the same. There you go. I want to remove now this underline. So for that I'm gonna put text decoration none. Let's refresh. So it's gone. Okay, great. So far, so good. So now what I want to do is basically when I click with this, I want the div to open and close. And for that, we are going to use a method from Jquery called Animate. So for that, I'm going here to my I have too many things open now. Okay, so I'm going in here to my main.js. I'm just going to start with a completely clear JS file. You know, we have been doing these tutorials from before, so I just cleaned everything so we can start really from scratch. I'm going in here and I'm going to say, I'm going to select with jQuery, I want to select this button. So this button, I can say that is a sidebar A. And I want to do a dot click function. I covered this in the last video, if you guys remember how to do a click function. So I want to do a click function, and just now I'm going to put a console.log. The button is working. So basically now I'm just putting a console.log to make sure that when I click on the button is working, you know, that I'm accessing it correctly. Let's refresh the page. Oh, it's not this one, it's this one. Let me open the developer tools. Let's go in here to console. If I click on my button, something is wrong. Something is not working. Let me see what's wrong in here. I don't know if I have my JavaScript. Yeah, that's because I didn't have the JavaScript file in here. So you have to link the JavaScript files to the index.html. So in here I'm going to put a script, src, and I'm going to put in here js main.js this is like JS / main.js is like the location. So we are starting in here on our index.html. If we go in here to the folder JS, that's why I have a JS in here. And then we get inside, our file is called main.js. So now it should be working, hopefully. Let's refresh the page. Ah, right. Again, because I'm using jQuery, I need to reference jQuery. You know, it's like almost like kind of install. You can install like locally the jQuery, or you can just like get a CDN, a link for it to work. So you can go in here, CDN, jQuery. We can go in here to this one, to the first one, and I can put minified. Just copy this code. And we're gonna paste it just before our main.js. Okay, now should be working our jQuery. Again, so this is the page. Let's refresh. Let me click. Still not working. Okay, let's see what's wrong in here. So we got a sidebar, and I'm clicking on it. So this should be working. Dot click function, sidebar A, JS. Okay, there's some, the button, yeah, the button should be working. Let me just see if it's because of this hash that I put in here on the top. Where is it? It could be because I didn't put this. Okay, yeah, because there was nothing inside of our href, so whenever we were clicking on it, the page was just like reloading. So for now, I just put this as a placeholder, you know. Yeah, after we can just replace it with whatever, you know. Because, for example, if I was putting in here, let's say a class, let's say an ID or something that we have in here. This is just an example. Let's say that I was putting in here on this footer, I was putting this ID equals to my footer. If I was going here on the top and I was going to put in here my footer, if I'm going in here and click, it's going to drag you down to the footer section. So basically this is what the href is doing in here. Okay, let's put nothing for now, refresh the page. So now we know that the button is working. Look, button is working. So now we want to actually this to animate. So for that, let's go to our main.js, and whenever we click the button, I want to select our sidebar. So sidebar, and I want to do a .animate and .animate, and then I'm doing a function. I'm doing a function, and then after the function I put the time that it takes, and then I do another function. Okay, so that should be it. Yeah, okay, let me try to explain. So when first of all, when I click this button in here, I'm gonna console.log first to make sure that the button is working like in there, and then I'm gonna grab the sidebar. The sidebar is this element that we just created in here, and I'm gonna do .animate. This is a method from jQuery which will allow us like to extend or compress like the elements. We can put a lot of things. So for now I just want to put the width the width is going to be, let's say 40%. Not sure now if I have to put this on like this. And then after this function, you see is closing, we have to put a comma. This is the time in milliseconds that it takes like to perform, you know. And then this is like whenever it finishes, do another function. So for now we want to leave this empty. Let's just try this and see if it's working. So something is not working in here. Let me just have a look on my other thing that I have in here. Okay, so .animate, we actually don't put function in there, right? Okay, so I don't need this function for now, and I don't need this. What else was it? So right. So .animate, I need to put this, and I need to put this in here. Okay, let's see if it's actually working now. Let's refresh the page. It's still not working. Let me just like copy this that I was using before, and I'm just gonna put this in here and just replace. So I got the sidebar, and I want to animate like for 40%, and right now I don't want to do anything. Let me just get rid of this one. Right, let's refresh, click. Okay, now it's working. Now it's working. So I put in here, so like I said, I'm selecting the sidebar, and then I do a .animate, and then inside the first one that you're gonna put is width. You could put height or whatever, you know, whatever you want to animate. If you want to check what you can do with Jquery Animate, you can just like Google Jquery Animate, and we go in here and look what we can do. They have a lot of examples in here. Actually, I don't like this one so much. I like this website more, the W3C schools, because they give you, look, selector, then .animate, you put the parameters, speed, and then when it finishes, you can do a callback function. So basically, they explain in here what you can do. Look, you can do left, right, opacity, height, width, all of these kind of things. So for now, for this project, we are just using width. You know, this is just for you guys to know that you don't need to know everything on top of your head. Look at me, for example, right now. I didn't remember exactly how was this working, so I just go to my previous project that I built, or I go again to Google and search. You know, this is how good developers they do. You are not like, oh, I need to do this with my eyes closed, like no, this is ridiculous. As long as you understand how the code works and you can implement it, that's completely fine, you know. Okay, so now we have this working, yeah. So it was this one, yeah, it was this one. So when I click, it's open, yeah. But now I want to close it. So for that, what we're gonna do is, whenever we click this button, we are gonna add a class on it. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna select. I'm actually using this. I don't know if you guys ever heard about this. So it's like this. Whenever we are clicking this one, and now I'm gonna select this, is gonna be the same as this one in here. So it's just like a short thing. I'm gonna put this dot add class. So this is a method from jQuery, which will mean that we're gonna add a class. I'm gonna add a class of open. Okay, let's refresh the page, and I'm gonna click on it. Let's see now in here if we look, class open. You see, that's because we add it with jQuery. Let's refresh. Let's check in here on the beginning. There is no class. When I click it, there is now a class open. Great, this is what we wanted. So now we're gonna do this. Open, so add a class, open, and I'm gonna put in here. In here first, I'm gonna put the if statement. If this dot has class, and the class is going to be open, I'm going to do this one. So if this has a class of open, I want to have a width of 12%. And I'm going to explain this now in a second. I'm just like thinking aloud. So now, okay, I'm going to do this. If this that we click, this element has a class of open, because we can click it, you know, and if we're going to click again, we need to check if it has the class open. If it has the class open, I want the sidebar to do .animate to go to the original position. Else, I'm going to do this 40. Okay. Let me just get rid of these. So now I'm just thinking, yeah, let's just give it a try now and see if this is actually working. Let's refresh. Yeah. Okay, so now I know what might be the reason. So I'm gonna put in here toggle class. Probably it's like this. Let's see. So if I click, okay, that's what was not working. So let me explain now everything so you guys understand. So first of all, we are getting this one, you know, we are clicking on the sidebar A. So it's this one in here. This is our div with the class sidebar, and this is our anchor element in here that we are seeing. When we are clicking on it, I'm putting a console.log to make sure that the button is working. It's working, the click event, perfect. Now, we are going to do this. Whenever we click on this button, we're going to do this. This is the same as putting this in here. It's just like a shorter version. And we're going to do a .toggle class. What does this do? A toggle class is when you click once, it adds this class. When you click again, it removes. So this is what the toggle class does. You click once, it adds the class. If I go in here, I click once, class open. I click again, it removed, you know? Okay, so now, I think I don't even need this. Yeah, let me just see. And yeah, so it's fine. Okay, I did this, so this is the toggle class. And then we're gonna do like this. If, this is an if statement, I covered this in some of the previous videos. If this, which is this element that we are targeting, has a class, this is a jQuery method as well to check if an element has a class. Has class of open. So for example, in here, when we are starting, it doesn't have the class of open. Look in here. So in here, if this has a class open, it's going to run all of this code. In the first instance that we are doing now, it doesn't have. So it goes in here, else. So what it's going to do is, Oh, actually it's going to do, sorry, because when we are starting out, it's going to do this.toggle class open, right? So in the beginning, since we don't have a class open, I'm going to click it and it's going to put a class open. So when we are going in here into our if, it says if this has class open, it has, because we just toggled it on, it's going to check like this. Get the sidebar, which is our div, in here, and it's going to do what? It's going to get the width to 40%, because initially the width of this div is just 12%. So we are putting it to 40% of the page, and we are saying that it takes like 1000 milliseconds. This is like 1 second, but I could put, like, for example, half a second. If I want to put half a second, I put 500. If we go and refresh the page, look how fast that is going to be. You see, fast, slow, because this is when we are coming back. And now, when we are actually closing this, when we are in this state now, if I'm going to click it again, this function in here is going to run again, and it's going to say, okay, we are clicking this button, we are running this console.log again, we are toggling the class open. So right now we have a class of open in here. Let's check. Look, class open, just in here. If I'm going to click it, it means that it's going to turn it off. So right now in here it has off. I'm going to put off. This is just a comment so you guys understand. And then it's going to run this if-else statement. If this has class open, right now it doesn't have, because we just turned it off. So it's going to run this section in here. Else, I'm going to get the div with a class of sidebar, and I'm going to do an animate, and I'm going to revert the width to 12%. And this is going to take, let's say, 3 seconds to be like longer. Let's refresh. Open fast, because we put it in here 500 milliseconds, and then when we close it, it's going to be slow, 3 seconds. All right, so one more thing that we are going to do before we cover this first part. I want that when we are starting out like this, it says open, yeah, and I'm going to put when open, when it finish, it's on this function in here, you know. I'm going to put grab this. This, like I said, is the same as putting this thing in here on the top. $ at sidebar A. This dot text, and I'm going to update that text to close. Because remember, this dot animate function, what it does is, in here you select which element is going to animate, and then you do dot animate. In here you put whatever you want to animate. You want to animate the width, font size, height. You can put whatever you want. I'm putting in here, for example, 40%, and then you put a comma, and after in here is going to be the time that it takes. And then after the comma, you put a function, and this function is going to run after the animation. So what I'm doing in here is, after the animation, I want to target this, which is the same like in here on the top, and I want to update the text. This is a jQuery method, and I want the text to say close, not open anymore. Let's refresh and open. Okay. I might not be targeting this correctly. Let me just like put this so we are actually, let's see. Close. Yeah, now it's fine. It's better to just put sometimes the actual element in there so you don't mess things up. So in here, look, I'm refreshing the page again. Open, and now it says close. I'm going to click close. now it's not putting for open, so we're going to do the same for the else statement. The else statement is for when we are closing. I'm going to put open. Let me go in here now, refresh, and I'm going to click open. It says closed when it's finished, and then I'm going to click again, 3 seconds. When it finishes, open. And okay, let me just put in here one more thing. I want this that says JavaScript app to be hidden initially. So I want to target, yeah. No, that's fine for now. That's fine for now for this video, guys. I don't want the video to be too long, so yeah, in the next video I'm gonna cover like all the other sections where we are gonna actually update the text inside of there. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't understand something, just let me know in the comments down below, guys. I know that sometimes when we are getting for the first time some of these kind of concepts, it might be difficult to understand, you know, but with time and with practice, you know, everything gets easier. I talk for my self-experience, you know. So yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna do a lot more of tutorials like this, so to try to help you guys out with this and to make you guys understand. And yeah, if you didn't understand anything, just let me know in the comments down below. Like I said, I reply to all of your comments. And yeah, give me a thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.